Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Dustin Gross. He is the Chief Operating Officer of Clearslide. Welcome, Dustin.
Glad to be here, Gerhard.
So what do you see on the horizon, how selling is changing and how it impacts the way salespeople operate?
Well, I think there's a lot of changes. I think buyers are frankly changing quite a bit, both because there's so many more millennials that are in the workforce, and I'm seeing a number of things happen with our customers that talk about the fact buyers are more jaded than they've ever been. They're more self-educated than they've ever been, and they're moving further along in the buying process before they talk to a salesperson. In fact, CEB says that they're generally 60% through the selling process by the time they actually even reach out to a salesperson. And that's really changing the way sellers need to approach buyers, I think, as we move forward.
So what's your recommendation on how salespeople need to shift to engage buyers at that precise point where they are in the buying journey?
I think the most important thing sellers can do as they're approaching buyers is to meet them at the place they are. Don't take them backwards. I think so often we've tried to train salespeople to use a standard process that's too rigid, too linear. And the best sellers are using technologies that allow them to use insights and to meet the customer where they are to help the buyer progress in their journey and to realize that they've already got some biases. They may be right or wrong with some of those things, but rather than taking them backward, keep earning the right to have a discussion to move forward by sharing insights that really impact their purchasing process.
That makes sense. So how do you see marketing's involvement with the sales process, and how does that impact salespeople?
Yeah, marketing and selling is converging more and more because of all the tools and the automation, and particularly with platforms like Clearslide, we can take the historical strain that's existed in the relationship between sales and marketers and bring data to that to get rid of the hidden biases or the opinions that in the past we didn't have facts to actually solve. So I think marketers should be doing a better job of looking at real engagement data for what kinds of material and content customers are actually engaging with, and what is it that sales reps aren't just downloading, but what are they actually using in their outreach to customers and prospects, and constantly tune that material up so they're playing an even more valuable role in helping serve customers.
So where do you see sales and marketing technology heading?
Well, I'm really excited about the future of combined sales and marketing technology, all focused on helping prospects and customers be more successful. There's so many great ways we're now using mobile apps, the ability to get analytics that are generated on a real-time basis and alerts that help everybody to get on more of the same page, and to not just improve the way we engage real-time with customers, but to take the analytics that come from that experience to improve the way we forecast, the way that we're tuning up content, and constantly making better choices about how we use the valuable sales time that customers are asking of us. The reality is their threshold for what they expect from sellers and marketers is higher than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And if you're not equipped with great tools, you're not going to have the same kind of impact, and you'll lose to a seller who's actually got a better toolkit.
So how do those tools impact salespeople in the field?
Well, it's interesting. I think a lot of companies initially focused on building tools for inside sales teams, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, those sales teams are sitting in front of computers, so they're more wired and connected. Two, those sales teams in the inside groups are typically growing faster than field organizations, so there's been a bit of a shift of resources. But we find that's what you need is a unified toolkit that folks in the field can use as effectively as if they were in front of their computers, which is where mobile technology and mobile apps that link to all the content in the cloud, that will sync up even if you're offline or don't have a connection while you're in the field, is so critically important. So our belief is that we've built a toolkit that will work as well if you're a field seller that's in front of a customer. You can present as effectively in an airport or in a coffee shop as if you were on site or in front of your computer. And that to me is the power of the real promise of the cloud and mobile technologies that every good vendor should actually provide to actual field sellers, not just inside teams.
So what do you think are the real consequences of companies that are not aware of the tools that are available, or if they're unwilling to change and adapt?
Yeah, I think companies that are reluctant to adapt and change are frankly losing the professional edge. I think by using the most modern and latest technologies, salespeople become more professional, they become more valuable, they become more nimble in the way that they're serving their customers and prospects. And companies that fail to adapt are going to find themselves at a serious competitive disadvantage, because other companies that are adopting these technologies are just going to outrun them and outserve them in a way that will delight their customers, and that's the gold standard in my book. Is is the toolkit you're using really driving loyalty and creating an experience that really is leaving an impression of delight on the customer base rather than being just of adequate service.
Thank you, Dustin, for contributing to the elevation of the sales profession.